In a time where superhero stories try to force pointless messages down your throat, coupled with bad writing and horrible use of the characters at their hand, The Boys is a refreshing change of pace. The third season has recently finished, and I can say without a doubt that it is the best season yet. This show has consistently evolved with its world building, creating epic moments by planting seeds in the prior seasons that only now have unfolded in ways that probably no one was expecting. Specifically, I'm talking about the final scene of this season, which we'll get into later. For those who don't know, The Boys is a superhero series where the gimmick is that the superheroes are actually all fucked up pieces of shit, and the characters we follow along the way aren't super at all, they're just the boys. Their main goal is to kill evil superheroes, and the big bad guy that sits atop them all is none other than Homelander, this world's version of Superman. Unlike other generic evil Superman clones, Homelander is an incredibly sinister, sadistic, and charismatic character who has caused viewers to hate him with a passion just as many times as he's made them smile. And he isn't the only charismatic character in this show. There's a reason for you to love almost every main character, and by the time the third season rolls around, you'll notice how every single actor is doing their part. There's not a single person letting the team down with their performances, and that's pretty unorthodox considering what's being put out these days. The female character trope is no joke in this series, as Starlight slips into that role like it's Cinderella's shoe, and she's entertaining as fuck while doing it. Her breakdowns and crying scenes are completely justified as well, and we as the audience tend to just feel bad for her when she's psychologically tormented by these Justice League-esque supes who rule the country. In the third season in particular, we see her as a literal superhuman, dating a scrawny normal man, and there's no scenes of her complaining over mundane things and justifying her actions because she's a woman, like what Marvel does whenever they're empowering somebody. The Boys drop scenes of realistic interpretations of sexist, racist encounters that are so real that it's bitter and hard to watch. They never try to create a scene that doesn't resemble real life in a somewhat accurate way. There are ironic scenes thrown around constantly that are sometimes so niche that you might miss it. Yet this series never steps down from taking these shots. In this season alone, they completely recreated the Kendall Jenner scandal of her in the Pepsi ad just for A-Train's character development. It was so on the nose that I half expected a Jim Halpert stare to hit me at the end of it. Speaking of A-Train, his character in particular had some amazing moments this season. To sum it up quickly, he was an arsehole. He selfishly tried to use racism in the community as a way to jumpstart his career. He then suffered from that even more and tried to right his wrongs in his own way, and was ready to die in the process. His fuck-ups may have not been forgiven, but that's what's so cathartic about his character. He's gotten so many killed, and yet just one good deed at the right time is enough to make it all worth it. Of course, his character isn't written off just yet, and I'm excited to see where he goes in the next season. We can't talk about The Boys without speaking on the rivalry that is Butcher versus Homelander. There's something so unique about these two, as they've both got their sins and demons, and while they're resemblant of Batman and Superman, if you put these two in a room together, you'll be too tense waiting to see what happens to draw that connection. Butcher is a part of the Boys, and so he has no powers. And since Homelander is an unhinged superhuman, there's almost nothing to stop him from tearing Butcher apart, limb by limb. Just like Batman, Butcher comes prepared, and just like Superman, Homelander has his weaknesses, and it just happens to be something that's as important as water in this current day and age, and that would be popularity. You see, Homelander is just a facade that gets the public's attention. He doesn't care about saving them, but by pretending to care, he's become the face of America. Couple that with childhood trauma and a need for attention, and you've got the most psychotic influencer imaginable. Like I was trying to say before, literally everything in this show resembles ironic blemishes of modern day society, but it doesn't stop there, otherwise it'd be too awkward. The show's use of humor in this superhero setting is so avant-garde, and the boys get enough justice along the way to keep the series full of life. And finally, let's talk about the final scene of season 3, because holy shit, the way they set up the next season by releasing the beast within Homelander, essentially conquering his one fucking weakness, is mind-blowing. Season 4 will be even more intense, especially with Ryan, the boy that Butcher loves but accidentally pushed too far away, who started to turn to the dark side. There's still a chance for him to come around and become the ace in the hole that the boys need, but his grin when he witnessed a man's face get blasted by laser beams shows that the kid's got some fucked up problems. It wouldn't be too far off to say he'll end up just like Homelander, and it's clear to see that he's a lot like him as well. I almost forgot to bring up Soldier Boy. He was the highlight of this season, of course. The fight scene at the end of episode 6 made everyone stiff, but throughout the whole season he did nothing but leave goosebumps on my skin. A perfect opposite to Captain America, and a real asshole until the end. That's it. Bye.